So, last session, the avant-garde returned from the northern reaches of the world of Raiden, back from the continent of Draconis, where they finished a task for Vesrial and for Senti. Now, with new magic items and new information, they head home. A long 15-day journey at sea was needed. And during that journey, a few things happened. The most intriguing of which was a chance meeting with a possessed crew member who seemed to have been speaking for whatever you all met down in Southland when you were in Kalos, battling the Cloud Crown twins. You saw the yellow sign for but a moment and heard words of omen and ill intention, pointing you to Karak, one of the oldest continents where human development seemed to begin, and where one of the strongest nations to ever exist founded itself. You were pointed to a small set of ruins called the Ruins of Dwenwill. After that, you sailed the rest of the way home. And now find yourselves without really many current paths ahead. You are at home, resting after a long 15-day journey. We begin the session there.
Alright, so we are back home. I got the helm, right?
The helm?
The helmet from Damien.
Oh, did you want the helmet? Did you ask for it?
I would, yeah, I
Did you have
left the
asked?
last session. Yeah, because that's the whole reason I kind of went.
Yeah. Go ahead and just do me a persuasion check with advantage.
Alright, okay. Close that. Character sheet.
Where are we
Luckily, I'm
going
good
again?
at these.
Well,
We are back home.
Yeah, you just came back after your long
Okay.
journey, so you're back home now.
Okay, gotcha.
Alright, I'm waiting for my character sheet to pop
I
up.
didn't know if we had another place we were going to or not.
I don't know. You have a few loose. Oh, I now remember
What's
where
on the itinerary?
I remember actually where we left off. You went home, and then missing Ganesh. While you were gone, they decided to visit the town of Bastion.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're on our way to Bastion. That's what it was. I
Yes.
thought we were going somewhere.
I
So where are
forgot.
we?
I forgot that we had landed in Bastion.
I know we were going somewhere, but I surprise, surprise, didn't take any notes. So
Fair enough.
So why
I
are
have
we
the
going to
vaguest
Bastion?
memory of 3 weeks ago. I think because Belric wanted to go, and we were like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep, that was mine, yeah.
I rolled a 26, by the way.
It's individual
Did you do
character
it with
arc time.
advantage?
No, I did not do it with advantage.
Okay.
Persuasion.
26.
21. Yeah, lower.
Okay.
So,
Um,
26.
Absolutely absurd.
You helped Damien with a very important task, and you probably sat down and talked with him for a good long time while you were getting the ship back underway to prep for a 15-day journey out at sea. And after a long conversation, he'd be willing to part with the helmet.
Okay, nice, my man.
Yeah. So you have the helmet then?
I do have the helmet.
Okay. Do you wish to know what it does?
Sure.
Okay. Do you put it on?
Uh, uh, no, I'd probably just have Sierra identify it.
Fair enough.
I'm
Gotta
on.
avoid curses.
I'm booked up on
Oh, fair
magic
enough.
items at
I
the
got
moment.
you. This item is called the Watcher's Eyes. It's a dark blue metal helm that resembles a Corinthian helmet, where one would see the eye and nose openings. A strange swirling light blue glass occupies those openings. It disappears and will reappear when the helmet is put on, creating this almost ceiling effect. This weapon, this artifact, is ancient and exalted. Its regular form gives the wielder 60 feet of dark vision. When worn and
Okay.
tuned, the wearer gains water breathing and can cast locate creatures as an action once per day. Upon awoken, it gives the wielder 60 feet of tremor sense, extends the range of dark vision to 90 feet, and the wearer has advantage on saves against any type of airborne toxins, and can cast scrying as an action once per day. Exalted, the item gives the wielder 60 foot of blind sight and extends the range of
Ooh.
dark vision to 120 feet.
God damn.
It can also cast Find the Path as an action once per day. This is an item of unparalleled sight and vision.
Okay. So, since I would have it during our trip back, I would cast Dimension Door, and I will place this in a new Dimension Door room.
Okay. Um, it's not Dimension Door, is it? It's
Demiplane. Demiplane, yeah,
Yeah.
Demiplane, yeah.
I got
Okay.
I was wondering when Gamesh learned Dimension Door.
you.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a sorcerer spell.
I don't think it is either, honestly. Kind of dumb that it's not, but
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. Watcher's
Alright.
eyes are put away.
So I have now a total of 6 demiplanes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is just really nice water.
One is seawater and sand. One is magic water.
Yep. Slightly magical water.
Oh, actually,
There you go.
the third one actually then need to uh, just slightly magical. And we alright, cool. Alright. Alright. Alright, now that that's squared away, let's go to Bastion.
Fair enough. Okay. So, you have flown across the kingdom of the Grimolian. You have seen many of the sites that showcase the conflict against Gareshtal that you just recently had. The burned, charred fields around Stanton and Borodor. The site of battle off in the distance of where Gareshtal's forces met with the combined armies as you all went underground. The ruins of the fort of Volterra, the ruins of Feltpike, and a powerful, powerful city. That being the city of Bastion. Located deep within the Wiskmar forest. It is a grand city of many different building structures and locales. You can see small, almost like goblinoid like warrens, just massive constructions that are probably filled with hundreds of goblins and their families. You can see sections of the city that are open plateaus that seem to have large houses built for minotaurs and the like, with open fields and almost like a free roaming feel to them. And then you have sections of the city that are built and maintained by the orcish population of the city. And that is much of what Bastion is. It is a city of a lot of the monstrous individuals and outcasts who have made a home out here in the woods, in the Whiskmar Forest. And it is a beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah. Yeah. Been a real long time. Alright. Turn this music down just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I did too.
So, yeah. So, Belric, why did you want to come here?
Well, I got two reasons being here. First one, I just need to check up on my church. But the second really big thing I need to check up is apparently my dead father is still alive in this city, and I gotta find him.
Your dead father is alive in the city. That's
Yep, he died like
That's
a hell of a
years
sentence.
ago. So
It's a pretty
very
good reason
curious.
to return home.
Do you know where to start?
Not really. I was planning maybe checking on my church first, see if that'll lead anywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we start the church then. That we do know.
Yep, I'll lead the way.
Or I hope you know.
Okay.
Okay. So, you go to your church?
Yep.
Gotcha. You head down the main city structure. This city of Bastion is built up along the edge of the mountain peaks. It is pretty much one of the last major sections of mountains for the Anka mountain range itself. And Bastion has turned that portion of mountain into a very secured, kind of high up cityscape. At the very top is the main political structure where the chief of Bastion works with his other minor chiefdoms that live within the city itself, and together they work to make Bastion a great place to live for the people who live here. Heading down the main steps, you get further and further from the top of the city. The houses get a little bit more ramshackle, not as well taken care of. But there is still pride in a lot of the work here. It is not as fancy as you've seen in many other places, but the people here take pride in their homes, and even though they don't look the best, you can tell that the craftsmanship is there. They are secure. They won't fall down. They just don't look as fancy as you have seen in other major metropolises. There's still that sense of a rural life, a more simple time here. Eventually, you find the small temple to Melil here in the city of Bastion. It is a long oaken house with a kind of tall, curved roof that meets on both sides and then extends upwards, kind of like the underside of a bow of a ship. Belric, many Orcish sailors tend to enjoy Melil's teachings of music and lightness, as they do often use port city, well, a port of sorts up on the northern coast to trade with. Many of the priests here of Melil do often train with more simple matters of almost sea shanty-like tunes, poetry, and kind of simple things like that. Their artistry is not in the playing of music, but more so the words in it. And you can hear immediately just what sounds to be almost like individuals singing, like coming up with a tune on their own. And upon walking up the steps and into the structure, you can see what looks to be the finishing up of some sort of religious service. And you can see about 4 or 5 young, a couple of them are orcs. There's 2 orcs, 1 half orc, and 2 small goblins are currently cleaning up after the morning meeting here at the church. And they are just singing like essentially like cleaning shanties. They're just coming up with a small beat and a song, and are just singing about their small task of cleaning this structure. And it brings you back to some of your older days here.
Is there like any like I guess higher ranked priests around?
At the moment, you can see one high-ranking priest currently is like at the far back of the room, kind of like putting out incense as he is finishing up his minor little tasks.
Okay, then I'll just start heading over to them.
You do recognize this individual. That is, his name is Opogok. Let me paste that. He's fairly high-ranking. Not as much of a high-ranking official as Kor was back in the day, but you knew him and he knew you.
Yep, I'll just walk on them and say, "Oh, it's been a while."
Oh, hi, Belric. It's good to see you here. What brings you back?
Like 2 little matters, but one that's probably important to the church that I probably need to talk to you or someone else in private.
Well, I can get the archpriest.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
I got you. I'll be back in a second. Feel free to have a seat. Worship if you like. Walks off to the back. not but for maybe a minute or so, and walks out with one of the priests of the Church of Melil. You all see a tall, orcish woman, standing probably about 6'2". She's wearing very nice kind of yellowish robes, well designed with the symbols of Melil. You currently see that she's holding a book that seems to be essentially teachings of Melil throughout time, and is just kind of holding it at her chest. Seems like she was reading and is just kind of walked over to see what was the matter. You recognize this as being Miss Morn. Morn. Belric. Good to see you again.
Yep, it's good to see you too.
Come into my office. I was doing some light reading. Your friends can come as well, if you wish. I hear you have news for us.
Yep, some good, some bad.
Fair enough. Come. Takes you into the back room. It's essentially like a small antechamber. Part of it seems to be an office, a place of private study for the church, for people of the Church of Melil. It is fairly small. You can see looks to be small offerings that were leftover offerings from the service earlier in the day are still there in small bowls, not fully used up. She kind of goes and sits down at a small little creaking chair and has only like 2 seats. So most of you are standing during this. But offers you to sit. I hope that the news you're bringing us is good. No, the object we lost.
Yep, well, I did find it.
You did. May I ask, how does it fare? Do you have it?
Yep, at this point I'll just take out Nice Song. Well, I don't have the original instrument because that was broken, but I do have the strings.
Oh. She is in shock for a moment, but seems to smile just seeing them. Well, I'm happy they have found a worthy instrument to be a part of. Do you mind playing something? It's been a long time since I heard them used.
Yep, I'll start playing, I guess, like a sea shanty then.
Okay. Just make like a performance check with advantage. Okay. You don't play for very long, but it is the strings reverberate and you hear them almost exit out of the room and echo in the previous chamber, and that hollowed, almost like boat-like ceiling seems to reverberate the sound. And even when you stop playing, you swear that the whole of this, small temple to Melil reverberates still for 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 seconds after you're done playing. That beautiful sound just echoes and follows around every nook and cranny of this entire structure. And you can't help but notice there is a silence, not an eerie one, but a silence of people have heard this spread throughout their small church, and they just probably sit in awe as you play a very great song. You can see Morn has a small tear move down her face, and she kind of wipes it and just smiles softly. You play well. You've done a great service for Milil returning this. Getting this back to someone who deserves it. I see the paladin life has been good to you.
Yeah, it has been.
I'm proud. I had grown worried not too long ago. I had heard tales of, well, you joining a mercenary company some time ago. I'm happy you didn't lose your way. Use your mission.
And I also did find core too as well.
Ah. Are you willing to tell us what happened? Did you kill him?
He still lives, but apparently the reason why he stole in the first place because he sold his soul and was forced to. So in exchange, I did leave him alive, but he's off somewhere else, kind of atoning.
Oh. Well. That is a shock to hear. I'm glad he found you as a replacement before falling so deep. I'm sorry you had to see that. So, other than the strings, you said good and bad. Is this the information you bring us? Is this all?
Well, the bad news. Well, apparently I found out just recently that apparently my father still lives.
I apologize. I don't fully remember his name. I know Kor told me at one point you had mentioned. I've not heard anything about your father returning.
Oh, what do you mean by returning?
Well, I heard he died.
Oh, yeah.
If
Yeah, I
remember
heard that from.
correctly.
Yeah, I heard that from some old friends that he was looking for me, in Bastion.
Oh, he hasn't shown up here. He could have, perhaps, but I don't even fully remember his name, honestly. I don't think I ever met your father.
Okay, that's all right.
I'm sorry I can't be more helpful. I'm sure there's others in the city who might know more. We have been busy, healing as much as we can. I haven't been getting out as often.
Oh, was it because of recent events?
Many refugees came in from the edges of the forest. Many of them were burned severely, especially those from Feldpike and other small settlements. We've been using some of our abilities given out to us by Melil to heal as much as we can. It's
Are any of them still here?
Yes, I believe few have gone to rebuild some of the smaller settlements, but only so many can go. There's still many from Feldpike, mainly some of the women and children.
Alright. Did they congregate anywhere? Within
Yes.
the city.
I believe they're a little bit further down towards the forest. There's not too much room for all of them, so many of them set up camp, small tents and the like, on the edge of the forest. You'll find them there.
Thanks.
No problem. Garish Tall and his fiery friends did a number on the outlying settlements. I'm afraid Feldpike was almost fully burned to the ground. It won't be the same for years to come.
But we always rebuild.
That we do. We survived this long. Is there anything else I can help you with, Belric? I should also ask. As a paladin of Melil, are the strings helping you?
Yeah, they have been a great benefit to me.
Well, keep them as long as you need. It's a great honor to have a paladin of your ilk out in the world, spreading the kindness and the light that Melil brings. It's good to see the strings out and working again. They were left for so long. Okay. Anything else you need from your church?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay. Yep. They will lead you out. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah. You head out. It's still pretty early in the day, I believe.
Well, I've never been in Bastions. I don't know what's here. Where to look for a recently revived father.
That's the part right there, isn't it?
Yeah. I can... Do we know Belric's father's name?
I mean, Belric does.
I hope Bell knows his name.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll just Belric say, oh yeah, my father's name is Arutor.
Okay, yeah, and
Arutor.
what does he look like? Like, if you had to describe him to someone, it's like, have you seen so and so? How would you say that?
I would say he's a big orc, sort of burly. He looks like a very like working like full-blooded orc.
Okay.
Carpenter build.
Um,
I'm like, okay, so he's an orc.
Probably like black hair,
did
semi-Belric.
did you did did his home stay with your family?
I guess Graham would my like family house be with me still, or has that been like sold off or something?
I think that honestly depends, like, if you wanted to have kept it. Because, you know, there's no one else to take care of it, so they would have gone to you. Like, if you wanted to sell it, it was your prerogative, but it could still be in your name.
Okay, yeah, I probably would have kept it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you still have your house in Bastion. It's not very far from the church. Maybe a 10-minute walk.
Okay, so we can start looking at Belric's house and move out from there. He didn't have any he didn't have any vices, did he? Like drinking, gambling, anywhere that might make him end up somewhere.
I mean, he probably would, you know, go to the local tavern. So that's probably another good spot to look.
Okay, so we'll start at the house, and if he's not there, go to the tavern.
Before that, how did he die? Sorry.
Oh,
Don't
yeah, that's
wanna-
important.
Oh, he died during the war when Bastion against the kingdom.
Okay. Well,
And how
let's start at the house and.
how long
Oh.
was he dead definitively before he was revived?
That war ended probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
At this point, it was right before. No, hold up. End of the
How did
Minx War
Belric
was 5
know
years
about
ago.
this? Who told you?
This was 15 years ago.
Okay.
Damn.
So, assuming
Yeah.
assuming that he looked for his son as soon as he could, he was dead. This is very powerful magic that brought him back, probably.
Yeah.
This isn't just a
15 years?
revivify.
Damn.
Even if he was revived 10 years ago, that's still 5 years of being dead.
Anything beyond what, a year is pretty powerful magic.
Yeah.
Anything beyond a year.
I mean, even a year, up to anything I think beyond, like, the 3 minutes is intense.
Yeah, honestly.
But, like, we only have spells
And
that
but
go
the
up to
body
a
was
year, so-
decomposed and stuff
Yeah.
too. So yeah.
Unless
Alright.
someone harvested
what was I
him
about to
straight
say?
from the battlefield. Oh, that's another good question. Was his body ever recovered?
Or was he just declared dead?
Yeah.
Belric said that I only ever told that he was dead.
Okay.
So
was
you
there
never
a-
actually buried his body?
Yeah. So there's never a funeral with a corpse.
Nope.
All right.
Alright. Okay then. This is. Alright. That changes things. This, Alright.
So it could have not been
Yeah,
magic at
let's,
all.
Yeah. Could have been amnesia for all we know.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of the
Who
possibility.
told you about this?
You remember who told
How
you
did
about
you
this?
find out about this?
Yeah, Graham, who would have told me this? Would Core told me this?
This was when you were talking to the Stormcrows. Um, so this
No,
was
like originally when he first died.
when he first died. Yeah, honestly, it was probably Core. Core saved you.
Okay, so Core's the one who probably...
After because you got injured in that same battle. You had a near fatal injury, and that was the last battle
Yep.
of the war.
How old is Barrett?
Belix? Belix, do you want to say?
Yeah, I think I put him in his early 30s. I think like
Yeah.
specifically 33ish. I think I put him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
So
like,
he was, like,
goddamn, old ass
15.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, orcs. I mean, you mean half orcs? Like, he was probably 15 in that battle.
Nah,
You know.
half orcs age faster. I think they live out
Yeah.
to technically be like 75.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Bellic is
Yeah.
technically a full grown man by that point.
Yeah. Which is wild to think
Alright.
about. I can't think of any 15-year-old as grown.
Oh,
Imagine
as
having only
a grown
15
man.
years
yeah.
of experience.
Hey, listen, I'm only 12. I think I put it as 12.
That's just, yeah. It's so
Currently,
Asif is
I
6
am
years
12.
old.
God, I hate that so much.
Asif should literally be in 1st grade,
I
Yeah.
love this.
and she's like a
I'm just
medical
my little
doctor.
baby.
I've only been
Gamesh is just a
alive.
little baby.
I've only been alive for 12 years, and I've seen the horrors of war.
He'd be like that for real.
I've started wars.
Gamesh is 10.
Gamesh is 10.
I love
Oh,
that for him.
That's amazing.
He's just a little baby.
Yeah, he's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
He should not be given that much
Oh,
alcohol.
Man. And his
I think
Baba
Senti's
was
the only
mad.
one in the group that's actually old.
Yeah.
who's actually
Senti is, I don't know,
legitimately old,
possibly
yeah.
thousands of years old. Who knows?
Yeah, literally no one. Except Graham,
She was
probably.
there at creation. Okay, we're going to Biller's house. Let's go to Biller's house.
God, Senti is the earth. Move over, Gamesh.
Yeah. Move over. Oh, goodness. Okay. We are following Belric to his old family stead.
Yes.
It's not about a 10-minute walk through many of these well-designed streets. They're rustic, they're simple, but your boots are kept out of mud underneath the wooden platforms that make up the walkways here. You're very close to the forest, in all honesty, a bit down the mountain, and you come across a series of small homes that are incredibly well built. And Bellic, you know from your childhood that this is your father's doing. He was a local carpenter, and all of his neighbors always came to him for any repairs to their humble abodes. And you are proud to see that, you know, a lot of the work that he did is still functioning as well as it can after 15 years of grueling winter and rains, and still looks as good. And you see your house. Simple, humble, but strongly built, made to last. And you have not been here in a long time. A small, squat space with, basically one floor, a small little crawl space up in the top. It's very nice. Just walk right in.
I guess before walking in, I'll check to see if if anyone's like broken in or anything like that.
Make an investigation check.
I'll assist him.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. This house is built to last. It was built heartily and heavily, and so it's actually very easy to see that the front door has been busted open. It's been shoved closed and maybe propped closed as well. But you can see the wood splintering along the door hinge. And especially at the locking mechanism. It's been cracked, shattered there.
Well, someone's broken into my house.
When was the last time you were here?
A good at least like 3 or so years, I think. So
Well,
it could have
then
been whenever.
It's, well,
Well,
let's find out.
yeah. It's oof.
I guess I'll carefully push open the door.
You hear the wood creaking more than it ever would, as it's been strained and hurt by being forced open. Immediately, you can see a darkly lit home, no lights. The only light emanating in is the light from the doorway. You see a fairly simple kitchen space that has seen its fair share of dust and disuse. At first, at least. But in the darkness, lit by the opened door, you see heavy mud stains. 3 heavy footfalls, like someone stomped their boots as they went into the house. And then as it continued, seems like the mud ended. Looks like they forced a lot of the mud off their boots, so they didn't track it all over the house, just 3 feet into the doorway.
And I guess I'll use a divine sense to see if I detect anything.
What? Can you post that in the chat real fast so I can reread that, please? How long does this last? To the end of your next turn. At the moment, don't sense anything.
I'm going to cast Terrain Dive. So I'll gain a Tremor Sense
Okay.
out to, I think it's 15 feet. No, 10 feet Tremor Sense.
Okay. Yeah. Almost like activating a small semblance of echolocation. You feel the vibrations in the house of your allies, their heartbeats, even the slightest of their movements. And there is a singular movement above you. in the kind of like the loft of the house. You just almost feel and hear like the slight movement of a boot on wood. It is just the slightest movement. You hear nothing else but that.
I put my hand on Beller's shoulder. Then once I get his attention, I'll just point. I'll put one finger up, just for like to signify one. Then I'll just look up.
Yep, I'll just nod back.
The so to get a picture, the loft is only accessible by like kind of almost like a ramp off up part of the room. So you would have to like be in like your dining room kitchen area and then move up the ramp to the loft. But it's a fairly short house. It's actually not that tall. Upon walking in, you know, it's basically made for like Belric's height, essentially.
So,
So like the
Does
loft
there
is
seem
just
to
like
be another
really
wa-
close. What are you saying?
so is there another entrance besides the main door?
There is a back door on the other side of the kitchen on the left side.
All right, I'm gonna go there
Okay.
just to make sure no one can just run out.
Yeah.
Were there like any windows up top?
There are, but they're all closed.
Okay.
Big
I
wood
can-
shutters are covering all of the windows at the moment.
I can send Pop It up.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright. I will be blind and deaf. So just know that. I'm gonna use my action to see through Poppet's eyes and have him go upstairs to see what's going on.
Okay. You send in Poppet, your small little bird, flies around the kitchen, makes a small kind of turn, and then moves off to look up into the lofted section. And you can see sitting on what was Belric's bed for much of his adolescence is a hooded figure, just kind of sitting on the bed, looking down. The lack of light makes it so you really can't see their face as they're just staring at the ground, really not moving.
Do they?
Go on.
I was gonna ask. Does the figure? I assume the figure looks like humanoid.
Yeah, they're humanoid.
Okay.
Fairly tall, probably maybe 6'4", 6'5"-ish. Even though sitting on the bed, they're still pretty large. They got kind of broad shoulders, burly individual. Can't see a face, can't really see hair. They're kind of covered with cloth and clothing, almost on every part of them. You don't see skin.
Hmm.
Oh.
You
I
can't
whisper
see their
this-
hands, like you can't see anything like that.
I whisper this information to whoever is next to me. Now the question is, do I ask Poppet to make a noise, or do I get Poppet out of there?
I'm on the other side of the room, so I can't say nothing.
I know. Who's next to me while I'm going blind and deaf?
I'll be
I
there.
assume he'd Bell, right? Or yeah, one of the
Someone.
frontliners.
Yeah, I'll be your bodyguard.
All right, nice. Fuck. Okay. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So Poppet, is based off of the Raven stat block.
Okay.
Ravens have the mimicry feature.
Yes.
Can I have it, mimic the Belric's dad's name?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna ask Poppet to do that.
Okay. Poppet
I'm
just
so
kind of.
scared.
So Poppet's still in the room looking at him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All of you just hear this small little raven mimic Arotar.
My boy.
Immediately, Gamesh. There is with the tremor sense, you feel movement, and like the feeling of a breath. Like you can see that with the tremor sense. You can feel the vibrations of it. It's weird, though. The breath in, it's like a movement of air from multiple spots.
Oh.
Oh, whoever this guy is, he's fucked up.
All the rest of you suddenly hear, and you see the figure stand off the bed. You hear the soft creaking. You see a singular gloved hand reach on one of the banisters as the figure pulls himself around the ramp up to the loft. Steps off of it, puts one hand on the back of the kitchen chair, and leans an arm against. He leans his other arm against it on the left side. You see, he's still looking down. Is just standing within the room. You hear this like wispy voice. Belric, is that you?
I'm gonna call Poppet back to me and hold him.
Okay.
Emotional support. Emotional support.
Faradir's not drawing her sword, but she's getting ready to think about it.
Okay.
This is a little creepy, a little spooky.
Why are we?
Yeah. I think Belgo would just be standing there with like 1,000-yard stare, not saying anything.
Would it be rude if I just elbowed Belric in the side?
No, actually, I think that's perfect.
Okay, then I'll do that.
It's very Seer of you.
Like he's talking to you.
Yeah, like say something.
Are you really my father?
At this point, it's hard to say. I didn't know when you would come. I've been sitting here for a while.
How are you alive?
Oh my god.
I don't think he is.
That's one thing we should talk about. You want to come in?
Yeah.
You see the figure kind of rustles, and you hear a belt unloosening, and you can see them pull what looks to be a short sword off of their waist. You see the figure turn slightly and just sets it on one of your like wooden curio cabinets that your father built. Just lays the blade on there, and just pulls out the chair that he's been leaning up against, and sits down with a heavy thud. The hood still blocking really any sight of the face. Do you go in?
Yeah, I'll slowly start walking in.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Belric. Your dad doesn't have skin anymore.
How unfortunate.
He kind of needs that.
Yeah. You sit down.
Yep.
Yeah. Getting this close, there is a definite smell that begins to percolate. And at first you can't place it, but the longer you're near, the more and more it smells like decay. It's faint, but it is there. You see the hooded figure, head still kind of down, lift slightly. Not enough for you to get a clear shot of the face. But they can see you, at the very least. All you see is the chin. You can see similar dark facial hair. That does remind you immediately of your father. There is many missing chunks from it. However, it's definitely not full. It's not as full as it used to be. You can see the chin move slightly, almost like the figure is smiling. You can just tell that through the very bare minimum of facial features you can see. It's probably a soft smile underneath the darkness of the hood. You're looking good, son.
Thank you. I wish I could say the same.
Thank you. That was pretty funny. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry, I wasn't there for you.
Well, that wasn't your fault.
I could have easily I could have gotten a position as a carpenter. Built pikes, or weapons, siege equipment. I'm sorry I joined the front. It was my mistake. But it seems you've led a good life.
Yep, been doing well these past years.
I've heard about you. I've been told the stories. It's very intriguing.
So, how are you alive? Or sort of alive, or whatever state you're in?
Well, it's a long story. But at the moment, you can thank your mother for that.
She's alive too?
At the moment, yes. More alive than I am. She, I don't know for how much longer. When she found out when she found out what happened, she was granted permission to come and collect me. I was a good tool to use for her and her master. I didn't tell you much about your mother because I didn't know much. But, it seems I found out where her family's from.
Where's her family from then?
Apparently, from the Colt Cliffs. She, works for a hag. And apparently, you all did something that they didn't like. I don't know what happened in the north, but I think the hags, well, I know. The coven is, well, they're going to find out that Solana is your mother, and she's worried about it. She can't flee herself, so she sent me to try and rustle you up.
So exactly what do I need to do, or you want me to do?
Well, she's heard about how... She's heard about the person you've become. And she thinks you might actually be able to help her. This time for good. To get out of that, well... To get away from the hags. The coven. Now I know you don't owe her anything. We all thought she died. I thought she died. And I know it's weird that she sent me to get you. It's weird that she did what she did. With me, even. But she wants to see you again. You don't have to see us. I know it's probably a lot.
I'll help her. Where exactly is she in the Cult Cliffs?
Currently, she's in Cauldron.
Uh, I think we went there.
You've not been to Cauldron yet. It is on your map, though.
Our characters are actually blocking that part of the map.
What?
In the Cold Cliffs, yeah. The big team image.
Oh, no, I mean this one. Oh, wait. Is this one? Oh, I'm in the ruler. Hold up.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
You want my chicken curry?
I'm good. Thank you.
Pasta, you want it?
I'm good. Yeah, but right there in the Cold Cliffs.
Well, I'm gonna switch to
Not too far from the Wiskmar Forest.
So what happens to you now?
You saying this to Bellick's dad?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was Slana that raised me. And, well, if she lives, I think I live too. Maybe. It's all very new to me, even now. She, you see the figure, kind of looks down at the gloved hands. She didn't get me for a bit of time. The process was unkind.
Dude, no way he lives that girl.
So,
Okay, so I had to step away. Our coven. Are there hags involved, or is it some type of
yes.
coven?
Apparently, Belrick's mom works for a coven
Yeah.
and is a druid for them.
And Belric, I'm guessing, didn't know his mom.
Nope.
She died very young.
Supposedly.
Your parents don't stay dead, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
It's like poor Belric.
What? What's
His
up?
now alive father has no skin, and his mom is maybe evil
I
and
mean,
working for hags.
yeah.
Honestly, nah. If anything, she's probably made a deal that she can't get out of now.
Yeah, but I'm not saying she's maybe evil because she is working for hags. I'm saying she's maybe evil because look at what she did to her son's father.
Well, she had to like ship him over to herself.
Yeah, that's not great. Like, she didn't have to choose him.
She wanted her hubby back. I don't know.
This is why I say maybe evil.
Fair
There's
enough.
a chance
Don't you
she's
see, Theoden?
fine.
This is just true love. That's all this is. This is the truest of love.
Yes.
But her husband just said she didn't bring me back for a good time. He's not having fun.
He's a worker, you know.
You know what I'm saying?
She still can talk to him though, you know.
Oh my
It's
god.
just he got a
Good
new job.
conversation. Catch up
It's
for
just
the
he's in,
last.
he's just in pain all the time. Belric, I can't wait to meet your mother.
I can't either. Okay. So do we want to go now or?
I mean, what time is it?
One moment. Many feet in a mile. 5,280. I like how this is how I have to tell time right now because I don't really remember. I have to calculate the speed of Windwalk and how long it took you to get here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Windwall, not Windwalk. Oh my gosh.
I don't think Windwall has a very high speed.
It does not, sadly. So 300 feet per 6 seconds. So times 10, then times 60 is that's per hour, and then 5,280. Did I do that right? No. Oh no, I did. It's 34 miles an hour.
Should I go Winston again?
And it is 220 miles. Took you about 6 hours to get here. So just through talking, it's nearing night. You know, the sun is at this point probably getting close to going down. You know, it's evening. So I don't know if you want to leave now.
Yeah, given that it's evening, we probably just want to find a place to sleep for the night and then move out in the morning. Rather than get there
I mean, Belric's home is probably a good place to sleep.
No, it isn't. There's no door.
There is a door. It's just broken.
A broken door is
No
as
one
good as
wants
no
to
door.
know a little bit.
So, what are you all doing?
I guess fixing Belric's.
How are you fixing the door?
Mending.
Okay, that works. It's a really, yeah. Would not take much to fix, honestly. You know, you could also probably use prestidigitation to get rid of all the mud stains on the floor.
Yeah. That's fair. If Gamesh mends the door, I can clean the floors.
I can do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Jake, the dollars thing. Jesus Christ.
Divide and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Household chores edition.
Yeah, you do the household chores for Belric. You know, while Belric is just sitting awkwardly at the table next to his
Skinless father.
clearly undead father.
It's the only way I can think of to describe him.
Just so you know, Belric, would you do undead, like divine sense again?
Yeah, probably.
He's undead.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah,
Would have known.
Well, Belric.
yeah. Now that he's
The
not
church-
behind
Shocked and flabbergasted.
There's tank over here.
So you're all resting here then? Heading out in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set up the alarm
I will-
spell around
Slumber
myself.
party
Mm-hmm.
at Belric's house.
You've slept at Asif's house. You've slept at Faraday's
Belric's?
house.
Yeah, boy.
You've slept at Seer's
We're
house.
making rounds.
Technically, my house is the party
Um,
house.
Yes.
Senti, you're next.
Many
Yeah.
slumber parties. Many,
No one's
many
been
slumber
to
parties at
my
Seer's.
no one's been to my former house in Pale Light because it doesn't exist
Childhood
anymore.
homes. I mean, it does.
As far as you
Does
know.
it?
It does.
Oh no!
It's a memorial for you.
Why is there a memorial for me?
I don't know. You know.
Just
I
for
don't like that.
funsies.
Why am I important enough for a memorial?
You know. You need a memorial sometimes. Better to do it in advance than late, you know.
This is.
Um,
I don't like this information.
can I go visit the Felpike
Yeah,
refugees?
yeah, you can. Yeah. Upon heading further down the mountainside, you note that it does get a little bit muddy out towards the section of the forest. The nice kind of wood bridges do fade away. You have to slog through a bit of recent wet weather. A lot of rain comes in from the north and hits this area pretty heavily often. This forest is a very wet spot, many small little bogs within it. But just on the outskirts of Bastion, it's okay. And you do spot many of the tents where you can see individuals from Feldpike. Some of them you don't know. Others you have like faint memories of seeing a few of their faces before at events. Asking around, probably, you're easily sent to go see your father. Father's tent, at least.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
Once I get there, I'll put my hand in, and before I part the way into the tent, don't send your Minotaur on me.
There is a moment of, like, a confused silence. And then you just almost, like, get that feeling, like of an excitement coming through.
Then I'll step through.
Stepping through, the immediate sight you get is of your mother, standing, eyes wide, with slight shock, surprise, and undeniably a bit of happiness. There's a slight smile to her.
This is what I've been looking for.
Gamesh. Oh my goodness.
I go give her a hug.
She wraps her arms around you, gives you the biggest hug back. Holds you a little longer than you would hope for as well.
Alright, don't break my ribs.
Gives you one, like, heavy, quick squeeze. And then lets you go.
And for those who want to visualize this, remember, Gamesh is still a really small orc, so everyone's bigger than him.
Yes. I can break your ribs if I so want to, Gamesh.
Hey, he died for it.
Yeah, I know you can. I know.
Come, sit. I'll pour you a drink.
Oh, perfect.
Your father told me that he saw you again. I'm happy. Really, I am.
Yes, luckily things, work themselves out.
I'm glad. I was wondering if I'd ever see you. I know there has been some tension, but I wish there were more people here. Azaru and Maktok are with your father, rebuilding Feldpike as best as they can, felling trees and the like. So I'm just home.
Good. Yeah, I see. I'm glad you're safe.
I got out of there fast. I'm glad you were there for your father.
Yeah, that Minotaur of his almost did me in, though.
I'm glad it helped.
That it did.
I'd rather him be safe and alive than taken out.
Worse.
What brings you back to Bastion?
A friend of mine had business. And while I was here, I figured I'd stop by.
I'm very happy you came. If you have time, go see your father as well. Maybe you can lend a hand. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
I won't be able to do this exact moment, but once
Oh, that wheel,
I get some
bro.
downtime, I definitely will.
It's good to hear. Yeah. Is there anything specific you wish to ask your mother, or do you two just have a lovely little reunion?
I just honestly, I just tell her about what's been going on since I left, since she last saw me.
She'd be very, very intrigued to hear about all of that. And it's pretty clear that, you know, even though you didn't have like the deepest
I fucking miss her, bro.
relationship with, you know, your parents, seeing and hearing the things that you've done, it gives them a pride, and she's very happy you've come to visit and are willing to tell her the things that you've done, even though you never had like a close bond. But she's interested, she's all ears, and she is so proud of you and everything you've accomplished up to that point.
It's 'cause I miss my all.
Well,
I miss my all. That's why I lost.
after we've had our conversation and had our drinks, I'll give her another hug.
Yeah. She'll squeeze right back.
Yeah. I'll make sure that I come by again.
I'll be here. Hopefully we can rebuild Felt Pike soon and I'll move back.
Don't worry. I'm sure it'll get done faster than we think.
Safe travels, Gamesh.
You too, Mother.
She'll see you out. Kind of watch you walk off. A pride instilled in her that you have done so much. Even though the circumstances of it were tragic, that you were forced to leave. You've done better than anyone could have ever thought.
Whoa.
So, cut back to the Belric household. I'll be out in the yard while you will sleep. If you need me, Belric, come find me.
All right.
I'm sorry to not bring you the best of news. And I wish I could have done it sooner. Seen you again, at least. Lifts himself up from the table. Do you look, Belric? Do you try to get a glimpse of the face?
Yeah, probably like subconsciously he'll like be looking.
Go ahead and make a perception check. As he stands, at this point, normal people like light. As you've had these conversations, you've probably brought lights into the chamber, into the room, as you all are preparing for a rest. You've turned on some of the you've lit some of the lamps, some of your lanterns and such, and so there's enough light to really see a glimpse. The angle is right as he stands up from the table, and you just look up, and you can see from the bottom part of the hood, even as he looks down, you can still see it. It's your father. It seems that his death was not the easiest on his face. Looks like he sustained an axe wound through the left side of the face. Leaving kind of this massive gouge up to the nose bridge, where you can just see skull and bones, small splotches of flesh. A lot of the skin on the face is dried, pulled back taut. His right eye is bulbous, almost like it's on the edge of popping out of the socket, and it is red beyond belief. It is grotesque. The facial hair that is left is flaked. Some of it because the hair has fallen out, some of it because there's no skin between small splotches of the beard and the mustache. It's your father, but he's decayed, and he is clearly an undead. And there's that little hint within you, that radiant paladin nature that you have sworn to uphold. It's like a churning in your stomach, and it doesn't feel good. Quickly, your father turns away. Head down, walks towards that back door, out the left side of the kitchen. You hear the wood creak open, and he just steps out onto the muddy grass here. You hear footfalls go slightly away from the house, and then the sound of probably his back touching the wood and him slouching down to the ground. The rest of you have the house to yourselves.
Yeah, I think Belger will just kind of quietly just go up to his room.
Okay. Yeah. Your house is very rural. Thus, there is no door to your room. It is just an open loft above, like, the living space, essentially. So you sit down on your bed and you still look into the kitchen and see anyone else who was kind of sitting for this conversation or just, hanging around there. So it's pretty easy for the rest of your party to kind of look on and see this kind of almost... What would you call the look, Belric?
Probably some kind of like look of sadness, I guess.
Melancholy, for sure, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious for those who are at that point still in the house to see that. Anyone doing anything for the remainder of the night? Or do you just sleep?
I don't do anything. I will make an alarm thing, and Belric's dad is not allowed past the alarm around me.
So fair.
Damn. What did he ever do to you?
Nothing, but he's not.
What is he
I
not?
can't
What is he not?
listen.
Huh?
I can't.
He
trust
doesn't
the amount
have.
of free
He's a
will that he
humanoid.
has. I don't have. I cannot trust the amount of free will that he has.
Fair.
He's kind of creepy.
He died.
Yeah.
Maybe part of it. I just don't want, like, I don't know, Belric's mother to try to kill us because of the hags, or like the hags to like gain control over him somehow.
Fair. Listen, I like Belg's dad.
Belric's dad is great. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and my strength is an 8.
Can't throw him very far.
No.
Fair enough. So you all taking a long rest?
Yeah.
Okay. It goes by pretty swimmingly. There is no alerts. It's quiet. You all wake up in the morning. I'm assuming you all would have opened some of these wood shutters. So the light spills in, and as opposed to the previous, time when you first entered it, in the morning sun, this humble, kind of like almost eerie home at times, is actually really nice. It's well built. It's comfortable, spacious enough. And it's a good home. Yeah, you all awaken in the morning. What's the plan?
What do we know about hags?
Make a history check.
I will. I get advantage on this.
I would also like to make a history check.
Go ahead.
Faradir's read random books
That's a
before.
16. Not the
16
best,
for
but not
Seer.
the worst. Hey!
Faradir read one of her mom's books on hags.
Yeah. There are many different types of hags. Seer, I believe you've fought a couple of them before. I believe you fought a coven of green hags at one point. And all of you have fought a strange coven of sea hags at one point.
Forgot about that.
Considered one of the weakest of hags. They are completely evil creatures. They often like being subversive and sly, tricking humans and individuals into strange pacts with kind of monkey's paw-esque consequences, in which that the hags will typically get what they want every time. Making a deal with them is never suggested, and is incredibly dangerous. There are many different types. Specifically, Faradir would know that. And they're more powerful, specifically in covens. Because working together, any hag is stronger than alone. And historically, I will say for Faradir, you living on the mountains have heard legend probably and rumor that there's almost always been a hag coven within the Cold Cliffs. Those are one of the easiest cults to kind of become subservient to the dominant cult within the cliffs. Whereas there are moments where one cult will take control over all the other settlements and drive out their competing cults. But hags, they don't mind working with a devil now and then. They'll work with a demon if they wish. And thus, they have retained power within the cult cliffs for longer than any other institution.
Interesting.
And I guess they did not take kindly to us just murdering Belgadamine and
Nope.
Reshkamol.
They were very supportive.
It's not our fault they picked the wrong side.
I mean, fair enough.
It's like horse racing.
You're not wrong.
It's like if you bet on horse racing and you lost, and so you're gonna go kill the guy who won's mother. Because she works at your company. Though I guess this is them choosing the wrong side again.
Maybe.
Unless they kill us.
I don't know. You never know.
No, you don't. But I have to at least pretend to be confident.
Yeah, better
yeah,
to
so I guess-
pretend than anything.
Yeah. Every bold claim I make is fake. I don't believe it. So, okay, so we're gonna go kill hags. We gotta make sure we kill all three of them. We can't let a single one of them escape.
Oh. That's the plan? Okay.
Seer will share that opinion with the party. He's in favor of not letting any of them escape. You don't want them starting... Don't want them coming back.
What do the rest of you think?
Outside of work,
Let's do it.
honestly,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds fun.
Also, what if I... What if I go back to using mage armor? What if I did that for myself? God, I don't even remember. Okay, I have to do this on D&D. How do I do this?
I wanted to in the group chat message.
Yeah, we really should find the mom first, or at least contact her somehow. not like I know her, so unfortunately I can't just cast sending and ask her why she made what deal she made with hags.
Fair enough. That's a good question to ask.
So far our only plan. So are we going for the hags or your mom first, Belric?
I'd probably say find her first, so we can find out more details about the hags and whatever deal she made before going killing the hags.
Okay. I love how we're giving hags the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, as you should. They're not bad. I mean,
Sure.
they are bad, but you know.
They're just inherently evil and bad.
Yeah. You know.
They're just girl bossing.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're so right.
As long as they don't.
Who are we
girl
to
boss
judge
the
them?
sun.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, so our current plan is to go into hag. Do we want me to cast seeming on us?
Could be useful.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because we're probably known in the cult clips by now.
Yeah. It
Just-
seeming lasts for 8 hours, so here, it lasts for 8 hours, and I'll just send the spell description. We can decide if we want me to cast this.
Oh wow, you could make Faradir 7'6" instead of 8'6".
Yup. Or you can make
You
Faradir
only
9'6". Yeah.
Make her taller.
Yeah. It's basically
Make all of
disguised
us make all of us a foot taller, except my Becky make her a foot shorter.
Yeah, this is basically disguised self.
She is 5 inches tall now.
She's a pixie. Oh my god.
Just make her look like an actual lizard.
Yeah.
Just a little leopard gecko.
I mean, you could.
You could make Faradir look like a Firbolg, I guess. They're still really tall.
Yeah, I could make you look like a furball.
Or just a different Goliath.
Evil Furbolg.
Just a different Goliath.
Yeah.
That'd probably be bad because it's probably rumored that we have a Goliath. I'm probably going to be trying to change everyone's races.
Yeah, you can make her look like Thera.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Or like gender bent like Felgadamine.
Oh my god.
No.
I just make her look like Felgadamine.
Yeah, the infamous bad guy.
Look, guys, he's not dead.
And now he's a woman.
What did Felgadamine sound like, Laura?
Fuck if I know.
Mm.
I'm assuming he sounded kind of like you.
Probably.
It was like throaty, I think.
Listen, all I know is that he
But that
sucked.
might have been after he got
And
burned.
that we tried to kill him so many times.
I know, he kept running away from us.
And I remember that my armor looked a lot cooler when he was wearing it.
Yeah, well, because it was burning him alive.
Yeah, it was like badass though. And now it looks like, no offense to Belric, it looks like paladin armor.
It's 'cause it's
And
cleric
that's
armor.
not
It
Yeah,
is
that's
Paolo
not a
remembers it.
Faraday's aesthetic. It's in her pocket right now, apparently.
Also, question: are we the mercenary group that Belric joined?
No,
Okay, I was really confused.
no.
I mean, yes,
Belric,
but no. We're the other mercenary group he joined.
That's
I
fair.
mean, yes, yeah, but like Belric joined a mercenary group before he met you guys.
Okay,
And then
We're
he
the other
left
I was trying to
when
get the
one
timeline
person.
straight.
Yeah, he So Belric was like 15 when he joined the church.
Hmm.
And probably was there for years, honestly. Like, what would you say, Belric?
Yeah, I probably spent most of my time there because since I became a paladin and stuff, so I probably worked with them. So I should have probably been there the whole time since being there at 15.
Yeah, well, you
Your
joined the
entire
mercenary
life.
company. How long were you there? Like, you made some friends there. So, like, 2 years?
Yeah, I'd say yeah, around there.
Okay. Yeah. So that was this, like, a recent thing. Fair enough. So you have a slight plan. Oh, what is Chad doing to me? What different animal should Chad be instead of a fire beetle? I mean, how big is a giant firefly? Probably, yeah. Probably the same size, actually. There's giant versions of every animal in D&D. Definitely has to be a giant firefly somewhere. And it's definitely just like the same size as like a giant beetle because it's still a small creature. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're fine.
How dare you sneeze? Never
How?
forgiven.
Nope.
I gotta go dino.
Yeah. We're gonna kill your character and then revive him. I feel like that's what everyone should do with like their dead relatives or dead like party members. Just revive them and use them as like, free work. You know? Cheap labor. Okay. So, you have ideas. How are you getting there?
I guess Windwalk is probably,
That wouldn't make the most sense.
We just normal walk for once.
yeah, one foot in front of the
Just
other.
go hiking.
I don't think you took the soldier out of the bag.
Yeah, there's still a zombie in my bag.
It'll come in handy eventually. It'll be the last session of the campaign. Oh yeah.
I just don't want to stick my hand in there to get him out.
Are you afraid it's gonna be a bag of devouring?
No, I'm still using my bag of holding. I just don't want to grab him.
It could still be a bag of devouring. You never know.
It shouldn't be.
It's only a 50% chance. Each time you stick your hand in there.
Goodness.
The only reason I know that is because I rolled it yesterday.
Oh my god. Why? Because there's a zombie in there?
No, the other group got one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this bag of holding has never been a bag of devouring before, so I hope that doesn't change.
It probably shouldn't.
Mm.
We'll see.
I feel so safe.
As you should.
Alright, Cinti, you think you can cast Windwalk on us?
Pretty please.
I'll be your friend.
Oh, also, I cast seeming on everyone. So we all
Okay.
look different.
How different does everyone look?
I want to make everyone look very different.
How so?
Hey, who here is okay with me making their illusory disguise a different race? And who here is okay with me making their illusory disguise a different gender?
It is fine with me. I suggest another race that is tall.
Yes.
Although it would be funny to see very tall human.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
Just make her look like fucking. Just make her look like Karn. He's like what, 6 feet taller, like 6 something?
God.
No, you would not.
He's like 7 feet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it was
Fair
like
Deer
still
low-key
have-
did not like him, so she does not want to look like him. He was
Think about
he
it.
No.
flirted with her more than she would have liked,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which she would have liked 0.
Yeah, I don't think Seer would do that, but
No, it would be hilarious though.
Just make like a really tall goblin.
Yeah,
a
a
hobgoblin.
7-foot 6-inch tall hot
He
goblin.
was 7'3".
God, that's so tall.
Puny.
Little
Imagine being
man.
so short.
I'm so glad Mbahi is here, so I'm no longer the shortest.
Mhm.
I mean, Asif used to be shorter. Asif was shorter than you when she was in the party.
Yep.
Was she?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
exactly 5
Oh,
feet
yeah.
tall.
Oh yeah.
She is on the
Seer's
like
only
the
5'5".
tall end of an Aarakocra.
Still,
How tall is Seer again? 5'5"?
like 5'4".
That's how tall I am.
Damn.
Twinsies.
She's taller
Hey,
than I am.
be nice to us. I have platform boots. Okay, it equals out.
Oh, fair enough. I'm not that tall, honestly.
Yeah.
I was weird like off, like weird tangent. Back in my like high school health class, they like measured everyone's height to do like BMI like checks on everyone, I guess. And my health professor was like, "Oh yeah, you're 5'11". Stuck with that for my entire like post high school life, and then someone told me that I was not 5'11". I was in fact 5'9", and it made so much more sense. I just got gaslit by my health teacher. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm not that tall either. Okay. So you disguise everyone. And Windwalk is cast. Probably the best place to do it would be the backyard of Belric's little home. You do see his father has just been sitting on the ground, probably not moving the entire night, as he really doesn't need to like breathe or sleep. So you just kind of see him like head down, hood up, just like hood over his head, and just like looking down at the ground. But when you all walk outside, he'll stand quietly, silently almost. And then you hear that influx of breath, one from the mouth and then one from like the mid chest, meaning like he probably has like an open hole somewhere within his abdomen. As he will say, "Are you ready?"
Yep, we're ready to go.
Okay. Do you know where you're going? Or where we're going, I should say.
Yeah, did we actually get a map of the Cult Cliffs before?
You do have a map of the Cold Cliffs, yes. So you like it's easy enough to like look and see where Cauldron is. That was the map given to you by, I believe, Mabehi at some point.
Yep, and I'll just say, yeah, we have a rough idea where we're probably going.
Good. I'll follow along with all of you, and we'll I'll bring you to your mom first.
Oh, all right, that sounds good.
Okay. So you all take the minute to turn into misty clouds. You all have to take a moment to kind of avoid looking towards Belloq's father, as a part of like the misty transformation, his clothes kind of like go ethereal slightly faster than his body does, and thus it is clear to see the undead nature of Belloq's father, and it's not a pretty sight. But quickly, you all turn in misty cloud forms and head northward from Bastion. It'll only be about a 3-hour flight. You all fly over the Whiskmore Forest, which you've done before, especially the first time, I believe, that you kind of flew towards the Cult Cliffs. You see the spot where you had built your tower on your prior visit, and fly over the small bit of ocean and sea. Immediately you can see trade ships emanating from Dalim and the Grimolian parts of the kingdom are heading along the coast at a wide berth, avoiding the Cult Cliffs as far as they can. Part of you wonders if some of these ships might be your own ship, out making its little trade routes, while you're off and away, doing your own strange tasks. Soon, the open ocean disappears, and all you're left with is a massive inlet into the Cult Cliffs, dotted with small rocky islands. You do see ships, not the ones you would typically see. Their design is ramshackle and far different from anything you've seen before. They carry a strange flag, one that part of you recognizes, but in all reality you don't. Some seaborne faction here within the Cult Cliffs, most likely. What exactly it is, you could not tell. And soon, about half hour away from Cauldron itself, even in your misty forms, you all still have your normal passive perceptions. What is everyone's passive perception, by the way?
23.
17.
14.
14. Okay. And I think 14 as well from Senti. Belric?
17.
I mean, not Belric. Sorry, Gamesh. I don't know why I said Belric. 12 from Gamesh. Go. Okay. It is only Faradir and Belric that notice this. But there is a strange sound heard on the wind, like a cackling. And it catches you off guard, the two of you. And even in the misty forms as you're dashing at 300 feet per 6 seconds across the sky, you're looking around for the source of this sound. Just this kind of distant and then you catch a glimpse of it flying the similar height as all of you, passing in and out of clouds, is a strange individual. Two white curled horns connect into a wrinkled old face with two molten red eyes and a wide cackling smile. In one hand, she is holding, well, actually in both hands, she's holding what looks to be a pestle for like a mortar and pestle, but enlarged to the size of an oar. And she's sitting in what looks to be a mortar. And she is soaring across the sky at breakneck speeds. And but a moment she is gone, disappearing into more clouds, her laugh trailing and echoing across the sky. Yeah, two of you are the only ones that notice it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you, make history checks with advantage, the two of you. With disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay.
Yes, disadvantage, please. Okay. Faradir, you feel like you've heard legends. Witches are often used as scare tactics for young individuals. Stories with consequence and morals to learn. And vaguely you remember in one of them that witches and hags like to fly on strange objects. You've heard of brooms before, but you've heard and slightly remember strange objects in general. Strange objects in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell the party about all that.
Well, you're in cloud form. You cannot speak to them as of
That's a really good point. Pull a fish from the Nemo movie and mime it.
yet. You turn into
No,
like a witch's hat.
Yeah, no. I'll keep it in mind for the next time we're not clouds.
Fair enough. Eventually, though, you do see a cityscape appear. At first, it looks fairly standard and normal. But then it starts to change as it's eerie. On the eastern side of the cityscape of Cauldron, you see tall, lanky houses built over top what looks to be a massive bog of some sort, a swamp that has fetid over the space. Much of the city seems to like bunch up around this bog within it only, not spreading out to the sections that are avoiding the bog, but almost as if they've been called into the bog itself to occupy it, to force people to stay there. And it's unnatural for a city to grow like that. On the north side of the cityscape, the townspeople are pulled up the mountainscape. You can see houses line small rocky paths that lead further and further upward until it is nothing but white roofs with white snow-dappled paths, as it seems that the entirety of the north side of the city is pulled up into the mountains to be covered with snow and dangerous conditions. And then finally, to the west, the city is pulled into hilly, forested, dark, desolate hills. The shacks there are in disrepair. They feel more eerie and dangerous than anything, as they themselves are just desolate. It almost gives you the vibes of abandoned towns or something of the like. It is very eerie. The town is unnatural in all manner of construction. Each of the 3 different sections is vastly different. But eventually they do meet. There's a center square, small area for docks. You can see ships with these strange flags sitting at port. But you can't shake the feeling that this is a very strange settlement. One cloud takes the lead. You only assume this to be Belloq's father, Arutar. He moves off to the east, and you all settle down on rickety wooden pathways. As you shift back into your material forms, the air is swampy and moist. A consistent smell of decay fills your nostrils as you've landed in the village of Cauldron, the domain of a trio of hags. You see a few individuals turn their heads towards these group of clouds and watch as they turn into humans. You see eyes go wide, and you can hear the whispers already spreading of newfound visitors, as there seems to not really be a place to turn human here in this locale. We're here. Stay quiet and follow me. Arutar turns and begins to walk off, heading deeper towards the swamp.
Yeah, I guess I'll quietly try to follow along.
It's only occurred to me that this might be a trap.
This is a regular Tuesday. For us, at least. Traps were kind of part of our MO.
I wish that meant you set a lot of traps. But,
Yeah, if only. But no,
a
we
lot
just
of
fall for them.
traps. A lot.
Yeah.
We're so easy to fool.
Maybe.
But at least no one looks like they should.
Yes. What are all the forms again?
I don't.
You don't have to say if you don't want to.
I just want to make it to where we're as different as possible, like a different group composition.
Okay. The height different, everyone has different heights.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Everyone looks different, you change some people yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's still
But
the same
not our
number of you,
opposite.
but
Yeah.
I gotcha. You make Faraday look like a wizard,
No. I don't think I can do that.
I mean, you can make it,
Toughest wizard ever.
You hide the muscles. That's what you do.
If you're challenge someone to an arm wrestling race, and then we have to run away because we'll
Just be
figure
like
it out.
a tall, lanky furbolg.
Hell yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Farader's a tall, lanky furbolg.
I love that. Senti is human. I don't know.
Yeah.
Senti is the most boring looking person ever. The
Yeah.
complete opposite of the most interesting creature ever.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Just like, oh, I'm trying to think of like the most boring. Have any of you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows?
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah.
I just imagine like the energy vampire,
Oh,
just like the
yeah!
bald,
Yeah.
like the bald
Yes.
little boring man.
100%. That is what Senti looks like.
Absolutely.
That's immaculate. Yeah, just a totally normal person, Senti. Seer's no longer the normal person in the party. Seer looks like a freak.
Yeah, there we go. Looks like Colin Robinson.
Hell yeah.
Just the most boring, like mundane person.
Yeah.
Love that.
Only the best for Senti.
Yeah, of course.
Of course I changed Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's a Yorkie now.
Yeah.
A little yapper.
No, it has to be something boring. He's a little crusty white dog.
Oh, yeah!
Yup, a little crusty white dog.
Classic white dog.
Yeah. Imagine this bald man with a little crusty white dog. You wouldn't look twice.
You really wouldn't. Or like a pug, but not a cute one.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Chad is just gonna make like dog noises.
But he says the actual words. He just says woof.
Yeah, he's like bark, bark.
That's exactly what he does.
Wow, we
Very
should sign him up for
convincing.
acting classes. He's so good.
Yeah, he's definitely good at it. Not out here rolling nines on his deceptions.
Yeah, no. Chad would never do that to us.
He would not. He's so talented. Let me look at Chad real fast again. Oh no. Yeah, Chad is a
What?
-4 to deception.
Oh.
So that's a 5. Chad is literally just saying woof. Woof.
Hey, Chad,
Hey, yo,
you
what's wrong
shut
with your
up?
dog, dude?
Bark. I said bark.
Chad, shut
Hell
up.
yeah, he did.
Instead of growling, he's like, I'm gonna bite you.
I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Honestly, this is an upgrade.
I'm sorry. I work with dogs, and so I know exactly what face he'd be making.
I love that so much.
Truly exquisite.
Mhm.
Okay, Chad can keep talking.
He will keep talking for sure. As is his right.
Someone's like, "What's wrong with your dog?" And we're like, "Haven't you ever seen an awakened dog before, bro?"
Yeah. So as you begin moving through the city, the looks you get are many. They are confused looks, and you get a sense that the people especially this area, they don't look good. They are gaunt, sickly looking. Many of them have like giant pustules sticking out of like their necks, or like their noses are engorged, almost cancerous. No one here looks healthy, especially that of what seems to be a working class of straight up undead people. You get the sense that people who die here aren't allowed to stay dead for long.
I'm gonna.
As you see, like, elderly, like, 60-year-old men who probably like broke their backs in real life are like bent backwards, with their spines not corrected, and you see they're holding lumber, building homes, updating the boardwalks here. It's a very strange sight, and one that is not friendly or conducive to a good working environment.
Does anyone try to? No one tries to touch us, right?
No. No one touches you, but the looks you get from especially the undead. You see like one person who probably had his like neck broken, like turns his head like an owl and just follows you as he's like hammering away. At one point he like hammers his like the nail into his like fingers and still is just like watching as you walk past, his head just following. And eventually you get out of, being too close to him and his head just swivels back in front of him. And he just keeps hammering.
Well.
It's the hags.
Cynthia asks them for pointers.
The undead only are in this section. The Lady of the Mountains likes eating her corpses.
Honestly, that just sounds like unhealthy.
Yeah. Doesn't take you very long. You come to almost like the end of one of these long causeways that cross over the muck and festering soil of this swamp section of Cauldron. And as you reach the end of it, you can see you all just are stopped as Aratar just seems to like wait patiently for a moment. And suddenly you begin to hear like a distant sloshing sound and a swaying. Until suddenly, crawling upwards towards all of you is a strange sight. It is a house making its way towards you.
Hey, yo. Why this house walking?
It's just walking, Sometimes houses do that. I don't know.
They really don't, though. That's kind of like the point of a house, is that it stays in one spot.
Not here. Not in this place.
Good point.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, interesting. It's just a little guy.
Mm-hmm. With little tiny claws and hands. You see he comes up to the end of the dock and then turns. And suddenly the front porch steps are centered right in front of all of you. Let me go first. He steps on the front step up the other step onto the porch and opens the door. Steps inside. There is silence for a few moments. Hey, hon. You did? And then fast footfalls until there is a individual standing in the doorway. Still fairly young. Strangely fairly young. You see a human woman wearing what looks to be kind of slightly tattered clothes. Some looks like almost like wooden armor. Very much that of a druid of some sort. You can see natural baubles and mixtures all along her belt. She's pretty, with dark black hair similar to Belric's. You see two bright, like beautiful, like soup-colored hazel eyes, and a big smile. Hi. Come on in, all. She's not back yet. That smile seems to fade as she steps back into the structure. A look of almost confusion crossing her face as if she's rethinking her choices. And she just steps into the structure. You can see, as you kind of like look past, standing behind her, as she like walks further in, is your father is in the room. He is taking his hood off and is just looking down, and you can see the full visage of his decay. You see she walks over to him as he just eyes you with his one good eye that looks like it's about ready to pop out. And you see she just like walks over to your father and just wraps her hand in his, like squeezes it once tightly, and then walks over to a table behind him and starts doing some minor little mixes. But the offer is there to come inside.
Yeah, I guess I'll start making my way in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The inside is comfortable, honestly. This putrid smell of the swamp around you kind of fades once you're inside. It smells of herbs and small natural things. There's a nice big couch, a few other kind of soft chairs around a roaring fire in the back. You can see many different tables and like small little alchemy setups all around. Solana goes and grabs a few herbs fresh and starts grinding them up into some sort of small concoction. You see she like steels herself for a moment and turns back around. Thank you for coming. It's so good to see you, Balric.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
This is weird, I know, but I'm very thankful that you were willing. The hag I work for is currently out. If you wish to speak, we should speak now, before she returns. I can't leave on my own accord. It's complicated. And it's just something I can't do on my own. But I heard rumors spread throughout the cliffs. The hag has also heard them. She's not happy. Which one of you is Belric again?
I'll just kind of like look and raise a hand.
What would you have been disguised as? What do you think is the opposite of Belric?
I think probably some kind of like tiefling.
Okay. Kind of like a scrawny tiefling, maybe giving off like warlock vibes.
Yep, exactly.
I can see it now. I got it. Huh. You look very different than I expected. But I assume... I think I know what's happening. It's probably good you did that. So, what is your plan? If you have discussed one.
Of course we have a plan. We're so good at planning.
We totally have a plan.
My only suggestion is to kill all of them.
That would do it. At least it would make it so they can't track you. As killing one of their own would make them very angry.
Yeah, that's why you gotta kill all of them.
Yes. Doing that, though, may prove unwieldy.
Yeah, it's definitely easier said than done.
Yes.
It's the only plan we
Do you know what you're up against at all?
Some type of hag. Don't know which.
Well, I can't disclose the one I work for, but there's a couple others I can say. Irma Toe Rattler lives in the hills in the west side. She is what is called an Annis hag. Big, burly, essentially a giant. She will be interesting. Then there is outlandish Susan, who lives on the north side. She is a Behir hag. She likes the cold and is honestly a more prolific spellcaster. She eats people. Consistently. Those are the other two that I can talk about. They're fun. They're not fun, actually. That's just me coping. They are terrifying. You've never lived until you've seen Susan swallow a man whole in one gulp. Or if, well, Irma wraps her arms around you. It's like squeezing a mouse. You see she kind of looks off into the distance, clearly horrified by just the mental image of this hag just squeezing people to death.
I wish that was the most horrific thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You've never lived until you've experienced infinite death.
Seeing your girlfriend's face not on her head anymore.
Yeah. Like, we're
There
all
is
lost
a
in
sudden creaking sound as the house seems to move. You see Solana's face grow worried for a moment, and suddenly she just puts a single finger up to her lips, turns back around, and begins to work on whatever she was doing prior. There is an air of sulfurous smell. In an instant, you hear a slight cackle, familiar to two of you, as suddenly a giant mortar and pestle teleports into the center of the room, spinning on the ground. You see it almost like seems to carve up small bits of the wooden floor underneath it as she just goes tumbling around the room like a strange pinball for a moment. And then suddenly the mortar and pestle just settles. You see she stands up out of the pestle, and you watch it, or out of the mortar, and you watch the pestle shortens itself to be a small little standard tool to use. She picks up the mortar as it turns into a small little actual tool, and then pockets it in her deep robes. A familiar figure, one that you saw flying across the sky for but a moment, suddenly shifts into a younger woman. Dark black hair, light kind of red eyes, but normal, not glowing hot like the embers of the hells. Stands tall and proud. Hello, dearies. Solana, you didn't let me know I had guests. I'm sorry, ma'am. These are newcomers. I was just talking to them. Oh. We'll give them a drink on me. You watch the hag step forward towards the large couch and lifts two fingers, and you watch as the wood of the walking home almost rips open, and you see fire suddenly spilling forth across the ground wood of this house, and rising from the ground. You see a large cauldron arise. You see she goes into her robes, plucks some strange objects, and starts throwing them in, one after the other. Some of them look like intestines. One might be an eye of some sort. There's a lot of blood. And maybe a couple fingers. She throws it all in, and you see she stirs it once, and then moves her fingers downwards, and you watch this cauldron just sink into the floor and then close up. So, dearies, what brings you here? Do you have any dreams you want to talk about? Do you wish to know your future?
Great question, guys. What are we here for? Can we use Cindy asking about the undead as an excuse?
Yeah, that's probably best bet.
Okay. Cindy, are you cool with me doing that?
Well, my friend here couldn't help but notice the undead, and we just had to see what was up.
Oh, such lovely things. I have a penchant to keep friends around. Even after they're gone, why waste them?
We share those sentiments.
I'm happy. Solana is lucky that she works for me. When I had heard of her husband's late passing, I sent for him immediately. He came a little late. Shipping times are awful nowadays, especially when that war was happening. Atrocious. But we brought him back, and he has lived a good long life. Isn't that right? And you see she walks over to your father, Belric, and cups his chin and kind of wiggles it, and you just watch his one eye just like slide in the socket. And for all of you, for a moment, you swear it's about to pop out, but it holds in there somehow.
Well, that was incredibly kind of you.
I'm so kind. Oh, one moment. You see, she walks back over to where the cauldron came up and rises it from the ground again. She taps on it for a few moments. Sister. Oh, sister. You see a similar visage to herself appears in the image. There is a scrambled, strange sound that comes out of the cauldron. It seems like it's probably a voice, but changed, as if you aren't allowed to hear the conversation. Thank you for your gift. She takes the mortar and pestle from her coat. I may need it again soon. Come by anytime, and drops it in. You watch the mortar and pestle hits this strange liquid, and with a sulfurous smell of smoke, just almost like small explosive of smoke, in essence, heads over the entire cauldron, and suddenly the mortar and pestle are gone. Ta-ta. And suddenly the cauldron lowers down. Sorry about that. Technically, it wasn't mine to use. Well, to own. My sister, was recently freed from an imprisonment. And, well, she was nice enough to lend me her, mode of transport for a moment.
Well, that's lovely.
Yes.
Family first, of course.
Of course. Have you all ever been to the ruins of Midas?
I'm sorry, the what?
The ruins of Midas?
No.
No, I don't believe so.
Interesting. Well, she was thankfully freed after making a deal with a group of individuals. Nightmare, I think they called themselves. Lovely folks. True friends of us.
They sound like wonderful folk.
Mm-hmm. There's this other group I've heard rumor about that I don't like at all.
Really? Who are they?
Yes. They call themselves Avant-Garde. They supposedly came into our land and killed Philgadamine.
Awfully brazen of them.
Yes, I've been using some of my powers to look in on the lore of these individuals, and oh, is it juicy.
The lore jewel?
The lore of this group. There's one I want to pick her brain so bad.
Come.
Well, for a while I thought, how to put this? She was friends with a handsome man. And he has been doing some interesting things. For a while, I thought he would have taken over our little area. But for some reason, he left. And I would love to know why. And I think she may know.
This is out of character, but she doesn't.
It'd
be so disappointing for this hag.
that certainly is interesting.
Yes. It most certainly is. So what brings a group of, 6 of you here?
Like I said, my friend here is a bit of a necromancer, and we noticed the undead, so we just wanted to get a closer look. I do hope that's all right. I'm sorry if we're intruding.
Oh, you're fine. How good are you at necromancy? Looking towards Senti.
Pulls a zombie out of a bag of holding. Feral zombie.
Yeah! Feral zombie, go time! Yeah, let me pull bodies out of the bag and we'll show you. I think that would oppress this hag if we just pulled a dead body out of the bag of holding. Actually, let me get my... Oh, yeah! Hey, ma'am, look at these weird bodies we have.
Ooh. Interesting.
Like, great.
Solana? They're decayed, right? They're dead.
Unless Senti would have asked Seer to cast Gentle Repose on them, I assume so.
You see Solana turns and finally seems to like almost participate in this conversation, especially forced into this. Yes. Takes a few steps forward and very familiar to all of you. Seems to use spores to awaken some of these zombies, or these undead, or these dead people. And you watch her as she does that. She takes one of her concoctions on her belt and pours it into the mouth. And you watch the body just begin to vibrate almost. And normally with like the zombies that Senti creates, you can see like the fungus and spores inhabiting them and forcing them into this undead nature. But the body doesn't seem to grow fungus. It seems like she's learned to do something strange with it, and eventually it stops shuddering and then breathes heavily as one of the dead people, were they all gnolls, or
Got all these fucked up gnolls.
okay. One of the gnolls wakes up and goes and just does this strange laugh, but it doesn't have breath. It doesn't need to breathe, so it's almost hurting to like watch this creature laugh innately as it like just looks confused. And you see Solana, her eyes almost flash for a moment, and then the gnoll does a full flip upwards and stands as tall as it can in the room, breathing heavily. She looks down at the ground, and you watch it immediately sit cross-legged on the ground. She smiles a little bit, and then immediately realizes that she's smiling and hides it as fast as she can. You see the hag, even in this human form, much less threatening. Solana, don't be afraid to smile. You're such a bright student. She nods her head to the hag. Now that you've seen it in action, maybe you can enact it yourself. This gives them some control. We are able to tell them things to do, but they also do have a little bit of free will. I always like that. They can dream and think and wish, and oh, do I love their dreams.
That's incredibly impressive.
Say thank you, Solana. Thank you. It probably took a minute. All in all. It was not an immediate thing. It was a whole mess. The body had to shudder for a while, grotesque stuff. It didn't look fun.
I love how Senti's name changed from Dr. Senti to Senti. Senti lost her doctorate.
I mean, medical malpractice.
For real.
What if her doctorate? What if she got a PhD in malpractice?
I mean, would healing us go against that then?
Get 2 doctorates. They constantly swap.
You lose one, you have the other one, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's one way to do it.
Yeah.
There is a sudden lurch to the walking house. Wow. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you. But I do have things to do, dreams to see, and I'm not fully done with my research on this group of individuals. I still have 2 more left.
Of course.
Who should I do next? If you know who they are.
Ooh. How popular are we?
You're kind of famous at this point.
Okay. Well, who are the 2 that you have left?
A newcomer to their, fairly new to their group. Belric? And then, well, ladies first, as I always say, I also have Ganesh.
Did she say Faraday?
She said Belric and Ganesh. She said ladies
Okay.
first. She did all the ladies first.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So she has, she wants to cast Legend Lore on those 2.
Well, if I were doing research on a group, I think I'd start with the oldest members first. They're likely to have more influence there.
Fair enough. Ganesh it is.
I'm sorry, Ganesh.
She's gonna see his whole backstory now.
For right now, it's buying us time.
Well, I'll get to my dreaming. Maybe I'll visit him in his sleep, too. mix it up a little bit. Hope you all have a good day and enjoy our fair little town of Cauldron.
And you as well. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
No problem. If I have to say anything, go into the north section of town and get a wonderful meat pie. You might like it. You hear the door
Thank you.
swing open. Lightly taps the edge of the house. A wonderful meat pie in the north section of town.
It's children. That's a person's pride.
It's the winter section of town if you need to remember as well. You know, the place that's probably getting snowed in all the time. Yeah.
Lovely.
The door is open. If you wish, you can come back tomorrow. We can talk some more. Batata. Solana will calmly escort you out the door as the fairly pretty younger woman heads back over to her cauldron that is summoned out of the floor and begins to do whatever it is she needs to do for the rest of her day. See whatever she wishes to see. Complete some tasks. You can see a worried look on Solana's face as she almost pushes the rest of you out the door. You see Belric, your father, staying there inside the room, his one eye just staring at you. It's hard to read a face that is decayed to that point. But you hear your mom say, "Take care of whatever you need. I hope you have some more knowledge now. Good luck." And then she shuts the door on you.
Well. Should we get out of here first?
Can I have Faradir and Seer just roll me a history check real fast?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you two might know about that. Yeah. After taking some time leaving the place, you probably realize exactly what she used to get here. Upon seeing it up close and personal, you're pretty certain that that mortar and pestle that she used, as well as the strange cauldron she had in her floor, are famed hag artifacts. Specifically, if I can find them. Yes. The mortar and pestle is Baba Yaga's mortar and pestle, made by the famed
Catcher.
hag Baba Yaga, which you have the dream catcher. And the cauldron is literally, where is it at? Oh, it's a Cauldron of Rebirth.
We gotta come up with an alternative plan to killing these guys.
Yeah?
Rick, how much do you love your mom?
Well, he grew up without her, so, but, I mean, but he still cares.
Yeah. But I mean, like, worst case scenario. We're too late. It's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
not.
guess so.
Oh, if you want to know what the mortar and pestle looked like, that's what it looked like.
God, that's hilarious, actually. That's so funny.
It's one of my favorite items ever.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is consequences of my other party's actions. I'm sorry.
Now we have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. They freed a hag in the Tower of Midas. And that hag has friends.
Went back home.
Well, not it's not the same hag, but it's a friend. A sister. If you would.
Family first.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. I wonder what these guys want. I know this lady said that she wanted to pick someone's brain, but I don't.
I mean, you can always. I mean, at this point, the house has started walking away again. It's not easy to ask, but you could try to have another meeting. You know.
Well, she said we can meet with her tomorrow.
Yeah. You could. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made.
Yeah.
Nice little hag town. Yeah. I'll let you all think about it, as it's kind of late. I'm gonna end the session here tonight.
Alright.
We can reconvene next week and figure out the rest of this hag situation you have all gotten yourselves into. One of the coolest entities in D&D. I love them.
They're great.
Yeah, they're just cool witches.
Yeah.
And they're so terrifying when they're in Coven.
I know.
Yep.
Like, can't we give them something they want for this woman's life?
I don't know. I could not tell
I feel
you.
like any deals with a hag are just a bad idea,
They
like
definitely
historically.
are, but like, what are we supposed to
I
do
mean,
here?
you might be able to get something cool out of it, but I don't know.
No, all our choices are bad.
Better zombies. Zombies with personality. And more hit points.
Yeah.
Music juice?
Yeah.
Senti would have to bargain for that, though. I'm not offering anything.
I like bargains, so. Yeah. That is the end of this.